Hello, it is me. I am here, believe it or not. I'm not uploading as of recent for reasons that I'll talk about later in the video, but now I'm here to focus on my one big idea that I've kind of had in the back of my head for a while. I've told a few people about it amongst my friend group, and I don't know, they seem to like it. But now I'm going to put this out there for both communities. Now, as we both know, Capture the Wool and Wool Wars are pretty niche games on Hypixel. Capture the Wool being the older one, being released in prototype sometime in like 2017, a long time ago. It was in prototype for a few years, I think, and I think that was its biggest downfall, is that it stayed in prototype for so long with zero changes. Wool Wars is actually a relatively new game, in being introduced in prototype, I believe, late 2021, early 2022. Again, these dates could be wrong, but at the minute, both of these games, I think, are pretty dead. As you know, most of the people who are regulars on my channel know that I play a lot of Capture the Wool. I've made a lot of videos explaining how I would improve it or change it or make it better. And Wool Wars is also a relatively new game that I know a lot of people have thoughts about. I think both of these games need a little something more. Capture the Wool definitely lacks it lacks any leveling system or anything to go for, and diversity in maps is only like 5 or 6, and they all get very stale after playing a certain amount of time. Wool Wars lacks unique gameplay, as most games end up being the same, where a team either rushes and kills everybody or sneakily places all the wool. And as of recording this, there's only 160 people playing Wool Wars and 100 in Capture the Wool. That's 260 people in total. That is a very small amount. And both, I think personally, would very much benefit from special dreams mode, like Bed Wars. So like Rush or Voidless or whatever. I think both of those games benefit from special rule modes, like Bed Wars has, that rotate every week. Now my big idea here is to merge the two games into one lobby. So merge Capture the Wool and Wool Wars into one big lobby called Wool Games. They can keep the Wool Wars lobby as it is. It'll work out with, I think, 2 NPCs. Now, merging them would probably definitely cite a few issues with cosmetics. Now, I think cosmetics for both games are very important, and I think the Wool Wars currency system actually works out pretty well. I think it would make it the Wool Games currency system. It would have loot boxes like Bed Wars, so you could purchase them from the store, and you can open them up for certain cosmetics, and you'd add more cosmetics, obviously, so, because you have a crap ton of Bed Wars cosmetics, you add those to Wool Wars. You would have kill messages and kill effects that would activate on Wool Holder kill for Capture the Wool. So if I killed a Wool Holder and Capture the Wool, a lightning would strike them, or the Christmas tree would happen, or whatever Skywars kill effect there is. And the same thing would happen with Wool Wars kills. Since Wool Wars kills are only 1 per round, a kill effect would be really nice to add. And death sounds as well would only trigger on Wool Holder or Wool Wars kills, because they're not extremely common. Now, barriers in Wool Wars, I think, could be transferred over to Capture the Wool by ways of the pregame. The pregame in Capture the Wool currently is just running around a cage of barriers, waiting for the map to start. I think what they should do is they should parse the teams out beforehand during the pregame, and then have them be able to run around their side of the map, or run around their spawn room, and the barriers would just be covering the entrances and exits from spawn. So if I were a Capture the Wool player and I spawned in on Manhattan Showdown, I would be in the Manhattan Showdown spawn room, and the edges and exits would be covered with whatever barriers there are. Hats, movement trails, and projectile trails would become universal to both games. So you'd have movement trails and projectile trails in both Wool Wars and Capture the Wool. You'd have hats in both Wool Wars and Capture the Wool. These are about all my ideas right now. I know there's definitely other thoughts and opinions you guys might have, so please let me know and I'll try my best to respond to them. I think this would be very beneficial for both games and Hypixel as a whole. 1, you could sell more loot boxes, which means more money, and 2, it would combine 2 really tight-knit and, from what I've seen, overall positive communities into one bigger, better, mega community of sorts. I don't know. But those are my thoughts. Let me know how you feel, and I will talk to you later.